Hello and welcome back to my RC channel. I'm AndyRC and today I'm checking out the Eachine QX110 Vtail, and as far as I can see this model is a mashup between the Eachine Bat and the QX95, except it's in a Vtail configuration. Now, I've not seen this before, but it has got a all-in-one omnibus flight controller, so it has got the same on-screen display as the Eachine Bat and the same camera, so 25 milliwatt 48 channel. You can switch it between NTSC and PAL, and then we have the bands on a long press and the channels on a short press. The difference between this and the Eachine Bat is this one has got 8mm motors instead of the 10mm motors, and like I say, the body is very similar to the QX95 except for this V configuration here. Now, rather than waste anyone's time, I'm not a big fan of this V configuration. In fact, what I wish they had done is just have a normal quadcopter, because it is a fantastic setup. The only problem is that it's really difficult to tune with this Vtail, and personally I think what I would do is maybe get a QX95 frame, take all of the stuff off this one and transfer it, because the PIDs that it comes with out of the box were terrible. I have found some fairly decent PIDs and I will put those below. I won't go through the entire Betaflight setup because it's exactly the same as the Eachine Bat, except for the configuration is a Vtail. In fact, they give you these instructions here and it tells you somewhere. So here, can you see there, set up as Vtail? And one thing I thought was interesting about that, now I don't know too much about Vtails, but the propellers are on the opposite way around to a normal quadcopter, so they're spinning the other way. Can you see the blade here? That would normally be on the inside and it's on the outside. Same with all of these, again other way around on the outside. So I don't know if that's specific to a Vtail or it's just something that they're doing now, because the Hubsan models have the props go the other way around. So we have the LED strip on the back. Again, it's the same setup as the Eachine Bat, and again that's configurable via the DIN. We have a USB port on the side there. Yeah, as I say, it comes with Betaflight. All the motors are connected using these little 1.25 pitch JST connectors, and then we have got the DIN connected over here, and then we've got the camera connected over here. There's also a buzzer as well, so like I say, exactly the same as the Eachine Bat. I don't really want to go and duplicate that. So if you want to see all of the settings, go and check out my Eachine Bat video, because I went through everything including the on-screen display, but you do get given this sheet here that has got everything on it. So it looks like it comes with just arming on the auxiliary one, and then we have got the modes on the auxiliary 2, but it's just set up to angle mode. Now this is the FrSky version that I have got, so it does transmit the RSSI, but it does come with FlySky and DSMX as well as options, and I didn't have any problems with brownouts with the brushed model, so that's why I went for the FrSky version. So the manual's pretty good. It just folds out here and it shows you where all the connections are, what everything does here. So yeah, that's where your beeper goes in, that's where your camera goes in, LED, and then we've got the bind button up here as well, which you can just see there. So this one binds in D8 mode, and this one has got a sleeve dipole antenna, which is cool because if I crash this one, then that's not going to absolutely ruin the antenna. Same as with the Bat, I removed the crosshairs, the artificial horizon, head-up display, whatever you want to call it. I removed that, and it tells you all the receiver setup, LED setup here, and everything like that. So what else do you get with it? Well, we have got some sticky Velcro pads, and that is for the battery. So you're given 2 batteries. They are 1 cell 600 milliamp with no voltage protection on there, so you have to be careful when charging them. You are given a charger, so it's a micro Lossy charger, and you're given one of these as well. This is to plug into the balance port of one of those B3 chargers. Then you can charge both of these up as individual cells. And then we have a spare set of props and a prop remover. Now this is something that I need to mention. The props that come with this are absolutely shocking. They vibrate, and I've seen a lot of reviews of this and say that it flies terrible. It's because of the props mostly, and also the PIDs as well. So I've taken these props from the SPC maker, and it makes such a difference. So I don't know why they're doing this. They're making these models that are pretty nice, but then giving duff props, and it means that it doesn't fly very nicely. So I'm just looking at how the Vtail works, and we've got this little plastic spacer here, and then these 2 arms act as the legs at the back. So these motors are taller than the front ones, and then we also have these motor protectors on here as well. So I'm using my Taranis Plus for this model, and I've made it exactly the same as the Eachine bats. I've got arming on that switch, I have got my buzzer on that switch for a lost model arm, and then I have got my 3 modes. So I've set it up angle, horizon and acro, and then I'm going to be using for FPV my Fat Shark Dominator HD3s. I'm actually trying a Triumph antenna with this flight, but of course really you want a linear antenna when flying this, but I tend to find it doesn't really make much difference. You still get breakup anyways, can never tell the difference, so I tend to just fly with these cloverleafs. And then I've got the Invader patch antenna with the Fat Shark diversity receiver in there. Okay, let's go for a takeoff with this guy, starting off in angle mode. Oh, these props are so much better. Let's go for a punch. Not bad at all, you know. Not bad. Feels stable, you know. Corners very nicely, which I think is the idea of this Vtail business. Pleasantly surprised. Just no good with the stock propellers though, which I'm noticing this a lot, becoming a trend, that they build these quite capable models and then stick subpar propellers on them. Okay, let's try acro. No idea what's going to happen here. Let's see what happens. Oh, I went for a slow roll. I should have gone for a quicker one. But, you know, it handled it, so let's try a quicker one. There we go. I don't know why I was messing about with slow rolls. It's doing it! Such a difference from the stock PIDs and the stock propellers. We have a capable model here now. I'm just not flying it like I normally would. I'm trying to go slow with it because I don't want to crash it, but there's no need. It flies just like a normal quadcopter. You just have to tune it and put different props on. Those LEDs going crazy at the back there. Yes, I like it. I do. And punch wise, pretty good, you know, on par with the QX95, I would say so. I got a little bit of a breeze today, probably, I don't know, 6 miles per hour. Cutting through it, no problem. I did not expect that. I'm pretty pleased with how this one has come out. Look at that. Interested to see how it will fly FPV, but I got a good feeling about it. I was a little bit worried when I initially tested this model. It was all over the place with the stock propellers and the stock PIDs. This feels locked, and it's got some speed on it. Corners really nicely. Yeah, just turns so quickly. Maybe we're onto something here. I don't know. Dare I say it? Yeah, I'm a fan of this. Okay, let's come in for a landing, because I'm really interested how this one is going to fly FPV. So I think with this model, they have tried too hard to make it different from any other model by giving it that Vtail, and I think all they needed to do was make it a QX95 but with an on-screen display, and I think they'd have been on to a winner. So here's what I'm going to suggest if you're interested in this model, because as far as I'm aware, a QX95 style model using 8.5mm motors with an on-screen display hasn't been invented yet. This was almost it. So I would say go and get yourself a QX95 Frame or something like that, just a normal quadcopter. Take the gear off this one and put it onto just a normal X frame or H frame or whatever, and you would definitely be on to a winner. Now, that's not to say that it was flying terribly, but I don't think that Vtail has many advantages. I think the idea of it is to go around corners quicker. It don't really do that, and it's more difficult to tune. Anytime they start messing with the angles of motors and the heights and stuff like that, then it can cause a problem for the tuning, and that is the case with this one. Like I say, you can use my PIDs, but I know other reviewers have been struggling with these stock PIDs. I mean, the stock PIDs were absolutely terrible, but like I say, you can use my ones and you will get a decent flight out of it. The flight time with this one was 5 minutes 20, and again, this is what I'm saying, if we go and put it on a normal frame, then I think this would be a fantastic model. Now, pay attention though to the RSSI when I'm flying out here, very low, so I do think the range is limited. I mean, it was dipping down to about, look at that, it's just going there 30% now, 30 dB, and I'm only probably, what, 50 meters out, something like that. And I was also getting the telemetry on the Tyrannus shouting at me as well, saying that the RSSI was low and I was getting signal weak warnings. But apart from that, yeah, I think it's a nice package. I just don't think they should have put a Vtail on it. Like I say, much more difficult to tune. I'm just sort of flying out here to sort of try the distance and pushing it, but I really didn't want to go for a walk, so I was able to use the RSSI for that. Look at that, down to 20%. You can see here the tune, it's okay. I'm able to do my 4-point rolls and things, and the breakup wasn't too bad either. Like I say, you know, the control range, you can't really go out more than maybe 80 meters at a push, so the video was absolutely fine for that. So I like the package, I like the on-screen display, I think it's really cool. And I like that it's got a buzzer and there's loads of power there with those 8mm motors. Just don't like the Vtail, so that is my conclusion of this model. Anyways, I'll put a link in the description if you wish to get one. I'll also put a link of maybe like an alternative frame, because I think if you buy those two, you'll have a fantastic flyer. But I'll leave you with some flying, and as always, thanks so much for watching. Please continue to subscribe. Cheers.